Hello everyone, welcome to History and Culture. On April 29, 1968, the prison door holding the Peking University prodigy Lin Zhao was opened. She immediately heard someone read out her latest verdict. Her original 20-year prison sentence had been changed to the death penalty, to be carried out immediately. Upon hearing the verdict, Lin Zhao did not display fear or despair. Instead, she smiled gently, as if she had finally been relieved of a heavy burden. With firm steps, she walked out of the cell toward the execution ground without a trace of hesitation. As the cold gun barrel was aimed at her chest, with her life about to end in an instant, she suddenly mustered all her strength and shouted, "History will declare me innocent." What led to Lin Zhao, the Peking University prodigy, being sentenced to death? And why did she utter these words in her final moments? A life shaped by family and ideals. According to historical records, Lin Zhao was originally named Peng Lingzhao. Born in Suzhou in 1932, she came from an extraordinary family. Her father had served as the county magistrate of Wuxian and had helped many people in need. Her mother, after graduating from high school, followed her brother into the revolutionary movement. Growing up in such an environment, Lin Zhao was deeply influenced by a strong sense of patriotism and social responsibility. This instilled in her a restless spirit. However, her mother was deeply worried about her. As a mother, she hoped her daughter could live a safe and peaceful life. But her mother's concerns did not change Lin Zhao's resolve. She was not the kind of gentle and obedient woman typical of Jiangnan. Instead, she was strong-willed and full of ideals. In 1949, at the age of 17, Lin Zhao defied her mother's wishes and resolutely enrolled in the Sunan School of Journalism. Although her mother was reluctant, she understood that her daughter had grown up and had her own aspirations. At school, Lin Zhao was exposed to progressive ideas, further strengthening her ideals. In 1954, she ranked first in Jiangsu province and was admitted to Peking University's Department of Chinese Language and Journalism. At Peking University, she met many like-minded friends who fought together for their beliefs. The following year, she joined the university's Poetry Society and became an editor for Peking University Poetry Journal. She later joined the editorial board of Red Chamber. Talented and resolute yet gentle in demeanor, Lin Zhao was beloved by her classmates, who affectionately called her Miss Lin of the Red Chamber. However, external praise was unimportant to her. She remained focused on using her writing to give a voice to the underprivileged. Her talent and determination quickly made her a rising figure in the literary and intellectual circles. And her works carried significant influence. A lonely struggle against the tide. In 1950, the film Wu Sun's biography, directed by Sun Yu, was released and widely praised. However, over time, public opinion shifted, and the film became the target of fierce criticism. A movement emerged that distorted progressive thought. Faced with this wave of ideological suppression, Lin Zhao could not accept it and ultimately embarked on a path of solitary defiance. Yet, in the face of the greater tide, an individual's strength was insignificant. No matter how much Lin Zhao tried to awaken others, she found herself increasingly alone. More and more people around her began to conform. Gradually, when she voiced her clear-headed views, no one dared to respond. Eventually, even the way people looked at her changed. Meanwhile, the once open and free academic atmosphere of Peking University was disappearing. The sudden shift left Lin Zhao bewildered. She could not understand why people no longer dared to speak of freedom, but instead tiptoed cautiously to protect themselves. No one dared to challenge injustice anymore. After a period of confusion, Lin Zhao remembered her original intentions and made a decision. Since so many people were blindly following, she would be the one who remained awake. And she would use her own methods to awaken others. However, in that particular era, The path Lin Zhao chose was destined to make her a solitary warrior, and to seal her tragic fate. Soon, due to her words and actions, Lin Zhao was labeled an enemy. She became a target of public denunciation. Even the classmates who had once sworn to fight for their ideals with her turned against her. Of course, among them, some were truly converted, while others, to avoid disaster, were forced to pretend. Just like that, Lin Zhao watched helplessly as her former fellow students stormed arrogantly into her home and ransacked it. At that moment, she felt her heart grow cold and experienced an overwhelming sense of loneliness. Yet, even in such circumstances, Lin Zhao refused to submit. As a writer, she had her own unwavering sense of pride and integrity. One late night, Lin Zhao swallowed an entire bottle of sleeping pills. She wanted to use her own life to tell the world that she would never surrender. But in those times, even death was not a freedom she could claim. As soon as she took the pills, she was discovered and rushed to the hospital for emergency treatment. Even the doctors seemed to harbor a bias against her. The tools used for gastric lavage were shoved down her throat roughly, making the entire process unbearable. In the end, she failed to sacrifice herself for her cause, and was forced to continue witnessing a world that had become unrecognizable. At that moment, her heart was filled with unwillingness, anger, grievance, and despair. Overwhelmed by emotions, she no longer cared about her own condition or the prevailing circumstances. She stormed out, demanding to know, what exactly was freedom? She poured out all the frustration she had been holding back, which ultimately led to her imprisonment. This was the first time Lin Zhao was sent to prison. Even in confinement, she did not stop her hysterical questioning. But some people had grown numb, while others had no choice but to pretend to be numb. No one could answer Lin Zhao's questions, nor did anyone dare to. However, her previous reputation still carried weight among students. At that time, no one dared to openly stand up for Lin Zhao or defend her views. Yet, to avoid further unnecessary disputes, she was released from prison and placed under reform through labor. Having survived a suicide attempt, only to be imprisoned and tortured before her body had fully recovered. Lin Zhao's health deteriorated rapidly, as if her life force was burning out. By 1959, her condition took a drastic turn for the worse. During the winter, she frequently coughed up blood. Realizing that her days might be numbered, she requested to return to Shanghai for medical care. Her request was soon approved. Perhaps being away from the land soaked in blood and tears brought her some relief. During her time recovering in Shanghai, her health improved slightly. It was also during this period that she met Guiying, Su Cheng, and Zhang Chunyuan from Lin Zhao University. At the time, Guiying and the others were preparing to launch a magazine called Spark, dedicated to publishing articles that criticized social issues. Lin Zhao resonated deeply with their cause and quickly joined, publishing 2 poems. Song of the Seagull and The Day Prometheus Suffered. Lin Zhao never abandoned her beliefs. She firmly believed in the power of words to awaken the people. She likened herself to Prometheus, the mythical hero who stole fire for humanity and was punished for it, hoping to inspire others to awaken. However, her persistence once again led to her imprisonment. This time, she was thrown into a cramped, dark cell. No one dared to show her even a shred of pity. She suffered even harsher torment. Verbal abuse, beatings, and even deprivation of food. But neither physical pain nor psychological torture could break her spirit. She remained steadfast. And when the prison guards hurled insults at her, she fearlessly retorted. Useless watchdogs. Seeing her unwavering defiance, the guards cut off her food, hoping to starve her into submission. But material sustenance could be taken away, while spiritual sustenance remained beyond their reach. Even in captivity, she used the little paper and ink available to write her defiant cries. composing numerous poems and essays. Enraged, the guards confiscated her writing materials, wanting to see how she would persist. But Lin Zhao did not stop. Without a pen, she carved words into the walls with a hairpin. When the hairpin was taken away, she used her fingernails. When her nails broke, she used her own blood as ink and bed sheets as paper, continuing to write her thoughts and beliefs. In such desperate circumstances, she still managed to write over 20,000 words. In the end, the prison guards even hung her up, suspending her limbs in the air, completely depriving her of any possibility of writing. The prolonged torture took a severe toll on Lin Zhao's body. Yet she never wavered in her resolve. On April 26, 1968, the prison guards suddenly changed their usual routine. They no longer beat or cursed her and even took her down from the suspension rack. Lin Zhao knew in her heart that her life had entered its final countdown. She calmly tidied her hair and clothing, waiting for the final judgment. On April 29, the tightly shut prison door finally opened. A prison guard stepped inside and announced that her sentence had been changed from 20 years of imprisonment to an immediate death sentence. Upon hearing this, Lin Zhao showed no fear, nor did she resist. She simply raised her head, glanced around the dark and damp prison cell, and a faint, enigmatic smile appeared on her lips. She once again adjusted her collar, then strode out of the cell to meet her fate. Standing at the execution ground, sunlight bathed her body, a warmth she had not felt in a long time. She lifted her head to gaze at the sky, and a smile once again graced her lips. When the cold barrel of the gun was aimed at her chest, she restrained her smile, took a deep breath, and fixed her gaze forward. Then, with all her strength, she shouted in a loud and resolute voice, "History will declare me innocent." Bang! The gunshot rang out. Her life was forever frozen at the age of 36. Yet, in a shocking turn of events, after her execution, the prison guards sought out her mother and demanded 50 cents as payment for the bullet used to kill her, forcing a mother to pay for the bullet that took her daughter's life. What kind of cruelty and absurdity is this? From that day on, the world gained a madwoman. Lin Zhao's mother, devastated by grief, suffered a mental breakdown. Her father had already hanged himself when Lin Zhao was imprisoned for the second time. It was not until 1980 that the Shanghai High Court, upon review, officially declared Lin Zhao innocent, stating that her execution had been a wrongful and unjust killing. History had finally proclaimed her innocence. In her brief 36 years of life, Lin Zhao wrote her legacy. With blood and tears, an unyielding testament to true courage and integrity. Though Lin Zhao has passed, her noble spirit endures forever. This is the History and Culture channel. Liking and subscribing are the greatest help and support to us. Thank you everyone and see you in the next time.